I said I would talk about the incident. So, if you don't know what I mean by the incident, then the screenshot I'm about to show you should tell you all you need to know. Yep, this message is the incident. This was posted on RWBY's Facebook page and Twitter. When I first saw this, I wondered if I was the only one who was mad about this, but I no longer think that is the case. So let's go through the post. Salutations, fans, fandom, and everyone who has enjoyed RWBY over the years. This is this is the day you wait. Oh, okay. They made a bunch of references. RWBY Volume 9 will premiere on Saturday, February 18th, exclusively on Crunchyroll. For over 10 years now, we've developed and nurtured RWBY on Rooster Teeth. During that time, it has grown from a small-scale web series into an international hit franchise. The last few years have seen unprecedented growth for the brand. Between comics, video games, novels, manga, art books, toys, and more, RWBY is everywhere. Oh, maybe it shouldn't be, but I'll talk about that later. With last year's release of RWBY Ice Queendom and the upcoming Justice League X RWBY Superheroes Announcement Part 1. Oh. So you're telling me this thing has multiple parts. The brand is getting bigger every single day. As the audience grows, we need the optimal platform to help continue that growth. And Crunchyroll is the best home to take RWBY to the next level. Where do you go when you think I want to watch anime? Crunchyroll. It's a name synonymous with streaming anime and finding your new bingeable series. RWBY has grown far above and beyond what anyone expected, and our goal is to continue to grow it, expand it, and tell more stories emanating from this rich world. Crunchyroll is a big part of that goal. This was a choice that we made for the future of RWBY, in bold, so we can grow the audience and lay the groundwork for the next evolution of our incredible franchise. We're sure you have questions and will follow up soon. Thank you to all our fans who have been a part of this journey. We are so proud of RWBY and the direction that RWBY is heading. Be on the lookout for a new trailer. Yep, we've seen it. As well as more news about this exciting partnership. The next adventure awaits Rooster Teeth. Let me share my thoughts on this. It feels like a slap in the face to the fans. We have been patiently waiting for 2 years, only to find out that RWBY is now behind a paywall. RWBY has always been free in some way, shape, or form, and now it's not. But maybe we all should have seen this coming. Let me explain. I'm re-recording this part because the original version was very long-winded. Let me just summarize my point. So basically, they made the interval between when Rooster Teeth first members could see the episodes versus when it was available to the public longer and longer. And then eventually they had it so the free episodes on their website were available a week after, and they didn't upload to YouTube until a year later. And then they pulled their episodes down from YouTube completely, and now they have it so that you can't watch it on Rooster Teeth until a year later. Oh, and remember the whole Rooster Teeth second thing? Perhaps that was a huge clue showing us that RWBY would be separating itself from Rooster Teeth in the near future. But now I guess there's no free viewers at all, unless of course you wait a year. Long story short, Rooster Teeth slowly started incentivizing more and more people to pay to watch RWBY. Perhaps it was only a matter of time before RWBY was completely locked behind a paywall. If you look at the pattern, it's not surprising. That's the basic summary of my point. Here's a question. Why did Rooster Teeth sell itself to Warner? Probably because Rooster Teeth wasn't doing so great as a business. Modern Rooster Teeth made a lot of fans unhappy. They made a lot of questionable decisions that people were not too fond of, including decisions about the direction of RWBY. A lot of people want Rooster Teeth to die as a company. Many think RWBY is the only thing keeping Rooster Teeth alive. If RWBY went, Rooster Teeth would be over. That's a sentiment a lot of people have. And a lot of people only paid to be a member when RWBY was coming out. Once the volume was over, they'd cancel. That's quite the evidence, isn't it? If the people who once loved Rooster Teeth now want it to die, it's no wonder they lost so much support over the years. It's no wonder it had to be sold to Warner Bros. Rooster Teeth used to be an indie company people rooted for. Now it's just part of the corporate slog. If it's not profitable, you get the axe. You think Rooster Teeth will get axed? A lot of people think it will. And what'll happen to RWBY when Rooster Teeth gets the axe? Will it continue? Will it get cancelled? I really couldn't tell you. I think it's safe to say that this is Rooster Teeth's way of saving RWBY before Rooster Teeth itself crashes and burns. But the question is, will Warner allow RWBY to still be made? That remains to be seen, but I'm not entirely hopeful. I would like RWBY to continue. I've been invested in this show for years. It would be really unsatisfying and sad not to see Monty's vision come to fruition. I'd be upset, and I think a lot of people would be too. Although I know some people would cheer for it. The people who think that RWBY's not what it once was. Let's get back to Crunchyroll. Whose idea was it to put RWBY on Crunchyroll? I'm assuming it was Rooster Teeth's idea. I thought RWBY season was Rooster Teeth's most profitable time of the year. Why do they need Crunchyroll? Is Crunchyroll offering more? Is Rooster Teeth not confident RWBY will do well this time around? Perhaps Crunchyroll is extra financial security? Or maybe it's because Rooster Teeth is dying and they're trying to save RWBY. Whatever the case, it's really not a good idea. I saw a lot of people were mad about it. It's driving away a huge portion of the audience. I'm sure some of them will pay, or maybe they already have Crunchyroll accounts. But the rest will either drop RWBY if they haven't already, or they'll just watch it through other means, if you know what I mean. And Rooster Teeth knows this. They absolutely know this. Because they told us not to. Look at this. Look what Rooster Teeth had to say about this. This might be the most important thing you read today. We realize that many of you will assume that it is now okay to pirate the show because it's on a big media platform and the IP is owned by a big media conglomerate. Let me be clear. Please don't pirate the show! Pirating RWBY hurts us in so many ways and has a direct impact on the content and crewbie. I cannot stress this enough. RWBY lives and dies by how it is monetized by you, our fans. Many folks assume that given that Rooster Teeth is wholly owned by Warner Bros. Discovery WBD, that we have an endless pool of cash just lying around. You could not be further from the truth. While we are indeed owned by WBD and love being a part of the family, we typically tend to run Rooster Teeth as an independent business within the larger framework of the organization. Contrary to popular belief, we do not receive an annual bucket of money to fund the show. If you care about the show and you want to see future seasons, spin-offs, etc., then please watch the show using legal means. The bigger splash we make on Crunchyroll, the better the future is for RWBY. Please don't be a jerk. Don't pirate our show. Do they really think that discouraging people from pirating is going to do anything? There's a paywall, people will pirate it. That's just how it works. And if a company's making horrible decisions and constantly angering the fans, why wouldn't the fans pirate it? If a company behaves poorly, then don't support them. And if RWBY fails because of this, they have no one but themselves to blame. But I bet they'll still blame the fans anyway. Unfortunately, too many companies are too big to fail at this point, but I don't think that's the case for Rooster Teeth. If RWBY doesn't work out for Rooster Teeth this volume, Rooster Teeth might be done for. It's been so long that a lot of people might have lost interest by now. I'm recording this part in post, and I just want to say that even I've been losing my enthusiasm for RWBY while it's been gone. I've only watched 2 reactions to the trailer, and I'm not really interested in watching any more. Before, I would have watched like every reaction that I could find. These days, I'm more into watching Sonic Destruction reactions. I feel really bad for the people who are still paying for Rooster Teeth first. Those people supported the making of this show for all these years, and it came to this. And so I was wondering about if reactions would be okay. And look, see, part of what made the Ruby and Rooster Teeth community so cool was all the reactions to full episodes. I watched so many reactions over the years. Will full episode reactions even be allowed anymore? It would be such a huge loss not to have them anymore. And from this post we can see that Rooster Teeth addressed this right here. Will RWBY reactors still be able to post clips from the show in their videos? What do you mean by clips? People posted the whole episode. We don't foresee this being an issue, but the honest answer is that this is currently unclear. Please rest assured that our preference is for RWBY reactors to continue creating their videos as they always have, using the standard Rooster Teeth reaction video guidelines as our baseline. Again, this is not set in stone, but that's the direction that we're hoping to go. I promise that I will share an update as soon as I can. Do you think reactors would be forced to cut up the reactions like they have to do for most other shows? I know that RWBY is going to go up on the Rooster Teeth website in a year, so like, will full reactions be allowed then? Like, people might post cut down reactions this year and next year post full reactions? Yeah, I've said my piece on reactions. So, let's talk more about Crunchyroll. Would paying for Crunchyroll be worth it just for RWBY? You have, okay, $7.99 a month. That's like the cheapest one, which I don't think is worth it just for RWBY. If you really wanted to game the system, you could just use the free 2-week trial and then immediately cancel. I'm sure you could binge 10 episodes in 2 weeks. So, do you think it's worth paying for Crunchyroll? I know that a lot of people aren't happy with Crunchyroll either, but I won't get into that. I know some people were saying like, I won't support Rooster Teeth or Crunchyroll. Why support companies that make bad decisions? For a lot of people, the Crunchyroll thing was the last straw. So that's all I have to say about the Crunchyroll situation. Now I'd like to talk about RWBY itself, namely the length of time it took to make Volume 9. The Volume 8 cliffhanger was the most hyped I've ever been for RWBY since the Volume 3 cliffhanger. But maybe the long wait killed off a lot of that hype. At first, I was like, if they need more time to make the best quality product possible, then I'm all for it. But it's been 2 years. And what do we get for that wait? 10 episodes. What were they doing all this time? Did they waste time and resources on other projects, perhaps? Like making cutscenes for a video game and working on a crossover movie that no one asked for? Maybe they got outside help for these projects, but I don't know. Money still had to be spent for said help. Money that could have been spent elsewhere. Speaking of money spent, they had to spend money on the comics, right? Why did they do this? Why did they think that we needed a crossover with the Justice League? It's just a strange decision.